So when it comes to strength training for Muay Thai, you want to consider a floor to core kind of workout routine. Of course, doing some upper body stuff is a benefit in anything you do, but you really want to focus on getting your core, your hips, all the muscles from the floor to your core, core to the floor. You want to get that stuff strong and balanced. And to do that, you have to work on stability. So you want to look for workouts that provide you with that strength and stability. And there's no better piece of exercise equipment than the kettlebell for that stuff. This is why I'm such a big proponent for kettlebells. It's why I train heavily in kettlebells. So I want to show you some strength training exercises with the kettlebell that will improve your stability by improving your strength and balance. And this will improve your Muay Thai. Because one of the biggest issues when it comes to throwing kicks or when you're receiving kicks and playing defense is you don't want to get knocked around. You want to be balanced when someone catches your leg. You want to be balanced when you're throwing a kick and you're on one leg. Training alone is not enough. You have to do the accessory work. So let's grab a couple kettlebells here. Let's jump right into this. The first exercise is going to be a march. Now you could of course do farmer's walks, which are always beneficial. That's where you hold your kettlebells and you just go for a walk. But when it comes to stability in my core and then just the motions of what we do in Muay Thai, you want to do a high knee march. So I start with 2 kettlebells, okay? And then I'm just going to march. Now, some details you want to pay attention to. Keep your shoulders straight. Keep your lats engaged. Keep your core tight. Knees go high and keep your toes up. When I have my students do this, they tend to let their feet kind of get lazy. See that? No, keep your toes up. I usually do 2 sets of 20 alternating. So 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 20. Then you want to create an imbalance to strengthen your balance. Great way to do that. We switch to 1 kettlebell. Again, alternating. Keeping my core tight. Again, core to floor or floor to core. Keeping everything connected. I do 10 on one hand. Again, counting the alternating. 1, 2, 3. Then I do 10 on the other hand. For these marches, the last thing I'm going to do is a bottoms up or balancing the kettlebell like this. That's a very hard movement. If you're not comfortable with it, you can try with a dumbbell. But you really want to get to a point where you can balance the kettlebell up there. Get my bell. I get it balanced straight up, elbow at 90 degrees, and you march. Again, 10 in each hand. 10 on this hand, 10 on this hand. Get to a point where you can get the bell up 90 degrees and balance it. Don't have it down here doing any weird stuff. If you're not comfortable, don't put your wrist at risk. You can use a dumbbell, but you should aim to get to a point where you can hold that kettlebell up. Holding that kettlebell, all this is linked and it's keeping your core tight and it's keeping your balance strong. Now the next few movements are all going to be based on a B stance or a kick stance. And what that is when I'm standing square, I pull one leg back like a kickstand. Kind of is the way that we get into a fighting stance, right? But not this far back. So just take your foot back just as if it's a kickstand. It's just balancing you. Now these kickstand movements are huge. They're my favorite part of this video. They're my favorite part of this workout. These really help your balance through your core, your hips, your knees, and it helps with your ankles. As you can tell, I'm dealing with a little ankle injury right now, and I've been doing these workouts, and it's just strengthening that. My knee was pretty messed up a couple weeks ago, and everything's just getting stronger. So all of this stuff is very effective. Start light. This is not a heavy weight kind of thing. Keep your weights light when you're doing these exercises. Maybe you can move up to moderate weight, but I don't see a reason to ever go heavy with this stuff. And there's also duration, okay? You want to be doing these workouts a little bit longer so that you're held into these positions and you're working on your stabilizers and your balance. So you don't want to pick up a heavy kettlebell and you can only do 5. You want to do 10 reps or more. So the first kickstand exercise we're going to do is a kickstand squat. So I'm gonna grab a goblet grip, which is grabbing the horns like this and keeping it up here at the height of my collarbones. My elbows are in, okay? And I step back and get this kickstand going, right? And then I just squat. I do 10 on each side. Again, goblet grip here, get this kickstand going, and then squat. Keep your back straight, sit your butt down. After completing your kickstand squats, you've already kind of primed your balance. So then we're gonna go into toe squats. Now, these can also be referred to as hack squats, is how I used to do them. I'd hold the kettlebell back here and come onto my toes. I know it's like in reverse to everything you've probably been taught about squatting, but these are very good, again, to work on your balance and strengthen your knees, your hips, and your ankles and keeping everything strong through a balancing position. And if you're doing Muay Thai the right way, you know that you are fighting off of the balls of your feet. You are on your toes a majority of the time. You need to learn to be balanced in that type of position. So doing these will strengthen your body in a balancing position. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So unlike a hack squat, again, where you would put the kettlebell behind your back, again, goblet grip, I have the horns and I keep the handle in line with my collarbone. Okay, now I come up onto my toes. When I squat, my knees go forward. Let's go forward towards the camera. Again, my knees come forward, my heels come off the ground, I'm on my toes at the bottom of this movement. I usually do about 2 sets of 10 of that. Now back to our kickstand movements. An RDL, or Romanian deadlift, or deadlifts in general, are just good movements for athletic performance. Very good for martial arts as well. Again, strengthening your hip flexors, strengthening your glutes, your posterior chain. So when you're thrusting forward, you have a lot of strength and power. That's important, especially if you know how to do Muay Thai properly. And the way that you throw your strikes, you know that you load your hips and that a lot of your power comes from that explosion in your hips. So if you're even just doing like deadlifts, make sure that's part of your strength training program, okay? But these are going to be kickstands. So again, I get into my kickstand foot position, right? The kettlebell is going to be on the opposite of the lead foot. So here's my pillar and here's another pillar here. That's how you got to think about it, okay? Kick my butt back. So again, foot, get in my kickstand position. Kettlebell's on the opposite of the lead foot. Now, before you go into this next movement, you could just keep doing the kickstand RDLs. Those will get the job done. But eventually, if you want to challenge yourself and really enhance your balance, then you can move into like a kickback. For these, you want your kettlebell to be in the hand of the balancing leg, right? So, chest high. When I come down, keep the weight close to your foot, right? Don't look at your foot, look forward. Those can be wonky. Like I said, you could keep doing the kickstand deadlifts. But eventually, if you want to challenge yourself, these kickbacks are really good. The last strength training exercise for this video is it's a variation of kettlebell swings. Now, I've done a previous video that explained the importance of kettlebell swings for Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If you ask me, it's for just life. It's the most important functional movement you can do in a gym. I'll put a link to that video up here. But a standard kettlebell swing, a double-handed kettlebell swing, or a Russian kettlebell swing hard style, or an overhead swing, these are great things to have in your workout routine. So this is just a variation, okay? Again, working on your balance. And if you do this right, when you first start, your balance is going to be wonky. It's going to knock you off balance. Again, this is just such a beneficial movement, okay? So, like a regular swing, I'm going to do a suitcase swing. So it's what we call a suitcase grip, okay? So I get my swing going, okay? And then there's my swing. When you first start, especially having it in one hand, this thing is going to rip you off your feet. You're going to struggle with your balance. That's the point. So before you do something like this, make sure that you are adept in the fundamentals of a regular kettlebell swing. Or this can get really weird. And you'll be doing more harm than good. What's great about kettlebell work, guys, and kettlebell swings in particular, it's strength and conditioning. Like I'm sweating and I'm breathing heavy just by doing the demonstration. So the last thing I'm going to do is show you kind of an advanced movement that you could do again for conditioning, but also for your balance, okay? I do these in like 1 minute intervals. So you start with your suitcase grip, right? And then you're going to get your kickstand. Okay, this is going to kind of look like a Jenga from capoeira, right? Or what we call ice skaters in bodyweight training. But you get your swing going, okay? And what you want to do is swing back like this. Regular swing, swing, swing back like this. Switch hands, right? Swing, here, here, here. This is a good way to advance the previous KB swing from the kickstand position. And this will tax you and really strengthen your balance. So, those are some great strength training exercises you can do to truly enhance your Muay Thai, specifically your kicks, because balance and core stability is so important to keep your foundational leg strong when you're whipping your kicks up there. And of course, core strength and strengthen your legs as far as like being able to whip the striking leg. All of those things, every bit of your technique when it comes to throwing roundhouse kicks and training Muay Thai, to be honest, can benefit from these exercises. So I hope you consider adding them to your routine. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you enjoy the content, please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll keep this thing going. I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, that routine is no joke. I'm always spent after doing those exercises.